Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Purple Lunar Rose Tarot and Astrology. Tonight, I'm going to be reading for Twin Flames, Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine, for the month of August. Please remember we are multi streaming. So, tonight we are on YouTube, Facebook, and hopefully TikTok. I'm going to check right now, but it looks like everything is working properly, and this makes me so excited. Guys, I got a new offer over on TikTok that if I live stream 3 times a week, that's $200. And I'm like, yeah, sign me up for that, right? So it looks like it is working, and oh my gosh, so excited. We're going to talk a little bit about the astrology and the energies for Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine, again, for the month of August. But I'm going to keep it short and sweet, guys, because tomorrow night is our love and astrology night, and we're actually going to go over the August transit. So I don't want to give too much away tonight, right? Guys, please remember my grandson in the background. So if you all hear him, send him some love. Vanessa is joining us. Divine Timing is joining us. Welcome, ladies. Welcome. I'm just going to check Facebook real quick just to make sure that everything is looking okay. And oh my gosh, you guys, I love when things work properly. I know, it is so exciting. Okay, so I want to talk about a little bit of the energies, but real quick before I jump in that, I wrote it in my notes because I don't want to forget, and I feel like we're going to talk about it like maybe towards the end of the live. So it's like I feel like it's something that's going to come back up. So I'm just going to bring it up now. The energies have been really heavy, right? And I know I called this the emotional standoff, right? So I just want to say, like, bear with me as we go through this information, guys, because it is going to start off a little skeptical, right? A little sketchy. Um, and I feel a little tense, right? And I feel that as we move towards the latter half of August, that energy definitely has a transformation, and we're going to talk about that, right? But before we get to all of that, the energies have been really heavy. I was really emotional today. And this weekend, I really just, regular life, and I prepared for the August transits. I told the mod ladies, I was like, I feel like sometimes I'm taking in, I guess I posted about it. I just remembered made a post on Facebook. It's like sometimes I'm taking in so much energy and so much information, it definitely can feel a little overwhelming. I mean, spiritual awakening is already overwhelming, right? But you add all of this, to following your purpose and surrendering to your journey and getting into alignment, and then all the things that are just happening in the world in general, right? It definitely can feel heavy at times. And it doesn't matter if you are going kicking and screaming on your journey like I used to, right? Or if you have decided to surrender like to your journey like I have now. I will say that I have been practicing self-care. Like I made sure not to let myself get too overwhelmed. And I really just put myself first, like throughout this whole weekend. I work outside, guys. Remember, I do the activities at the lake resort. It's so hot here in Kentucky. I know you can probably hear my fan in the background. I love y'all for dealing. But yeah, I didn't like overwork myself. I cut out early. I didn't let myself get too hot. I made sure to stay hydrated. I made sure to get good sleep when the insomnia wasn't trying to kick my butt, right? Um, and I got up in the morning, did all my things, checked off my checklist, you know what I mean? And I really held firm to it. And I definitely feel that it helped me get through everything. It was just such a busy weekend. But I do want to say, like, I think sometimes, I mean, the emotions can definitely be just from being tired. But I do want to point out, like, Venus getting ready to move into Cancer, which we're going to talk about um, more, right? And I feel like that could have a lot to do with, the emotions and feeling a little overwhelmed. I do feel like it's a test from spirit to see, like, are we going to process our emotions properly, right? I think we are. I feel like collectively we are, right? But here's something that stuck out to me, um, I guess, that I just really wanted to point out and see like who else feels this way. And again, I feel like it might be something that pops up or comes up in our collective reading or maybe later in the free readings. I am going to offer 3 card energy pulls tonight. So if you guys want to get your divine masculine and feminine energies looked at, stick around, right? But here's the thing, right? Ready? Our smiles. I'm really in the thicket of my spiritual awakening, right? This happened to me like it started in 2015. We're in 2025. It's been 10 years. Um, but I would say that I really didn't know like what was going on until like 2017 maybe, and then I started to get all the signs and figure out all the things and put the puzzle pieces together, right? 2020, I started focusing on PLR and created PLR and hit the go live button, right? um, I feel like I'm so far in this that when you're having spiritual awakening, there's a few things that happen, right? Like it's almost like it's forcing you towards your authentic self. That's exactly what's happening, right? So you become like your most genuine self. It's hard to lie, right? It's hard to lie. Um, so here's something that I noticed today that I thought like, oh, that's a weird feeling, and I wonder if anybody else feels this. Um, our smiles since our spiritual awakening began, um, it's almost like, are they genuine? Does your smile feel genuine to you? Um, I'm looking at the chat and I'm getting in trouble. But does it feel like, I feel like I have a work smile. Does that make sense? Like when I smile, these days, and I'm not saying like I experience joy, right? All the time with my grandson daily, right? With my family, with my children. But it's like the smiles are, I don't know, it's almost like they don't seem genuine. They seem like work smiles. It's like it really takes a lot to get a big smile to come out. I don't know why. It's weird, right? Does anybody else feel that way? Like, I mean, if you're at the beginning of your spiritual awakening, you're probably in dark night of the soul and nothing seems, like I'm not smiling about nothing, right? But when you come out of dark night of the soul, you definitely can start to feel like everything is gold and everything is glitter and everything is shining, right? You really have a lot of gratitude when you're coming out of dark night of the soul. But as you start to follow purpose and get into alignment and really, straighten yourself out, um, heal yourself, right? It really seems like there's a almost like a dullness. Does that sound right? I don't know. I feel like I might not be using the right words, but yeah, there's almost like a dullness, like this. I feel like it's at this weird staleness, like almost like a stalemate, almost, right? I called tonight's live the August Twin Flame Current Energy Update. I called it the emotional standoff because I feel like that's really exactly what's happening with the masculine and the feminine energies. I feel like we've both, and it doesn't matter if you're using this for like counterpart energy, like somebody woke you up. It doesn't matter if you're using this for like your internal divine masculine and feminine, which is what you're supposed to be using it for. It doesn't matter, right? Because when you're on this journey, it's all about balancing those energies. And I feel like it seems like for especially most of us that do have counterpart energies, like someone that awakened us, it's like we've come to some type of stalemate, right? Like some type of standoff, who's going to surrender first type of energy. It does feel very emotional. It's almost like the divine masculine and the divine feminine are just trying to protect themselves at this point, right? So it's like, the walls are up. And it does feel like the whole month really starts off this way. So some of you could feel like you're kind of already in this energy. And some of you could feel like you're not, maybe you haven't really experienced it yet. Um, and some of you could already have come into union, right? And you're like, I'm totally fine with it. But I feel like if that was the case, then you probably wouldn't be here watching me. You'd be out following your purpose or doing something for spirit somewhere, right? Right now you're here because most likely spirit drew you here. And I'm going to give you some type of information tonight that is going to give you confirmation of your journey and really just help you keep going, help you push forward, right? I was getting the OG cards out for the message part, And the proud of everything you're doing, keep pushing card came out. One of my personal favorites. This was after 3 year separation. It was after 3 year separation, 6 months no contact. Um, I'm in another no contact. Um, I haven't like checked the timing. I don't. It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't seem important anymore. I guess. I mean, this far into it, right? Um, but yeah. So I just feel like that's the information that I wanted to share about the two energies and um, the smiles question, right? So don't leave me hanging. Like, let me know in the comments. Like, do you feel that too? Do you feel like it's hard to have like a genuine smile, even when you're feeling like moments of happiness? It's weird. It's almost like, I don't know. All right, let me get to the information that I have for August. So as we enter August, guys, the cosmos is really preparing us for what may be like one of the most pivotal months in this journey. At least I feel like it is for me. Right from August 1st, and I'm not going to talk about the astrology too much just because we're going to go over the transits tomorrow night. But right from August 1st, Venus is squaring Saturn, and we're looking at, again, what I'm calling this emotional standoff period. And it's where both counterparts are going to face a critical choice between fear and surrender, right? Or surrendering. I feel like the divine feminine is going to be asked, will you keep nurturing what you may not be ready to grow, right? For me, I feel like it's PLR. Spirit's definitely been pushing me to get things done, mark things off the checklist, that type of energy. The divine masculine is going to be challenged as well. This is going to be more, will you step forward, or are you going to retreat further into your newly found independence, right? And I want to point out that this isn't punishment, guys. This is purification. The universe is creating the perfect pressure to expose where the connection is truly anchored or where it's just been built on sand. All right, so here's a mid-month forecast. Again, not touching on it too much, but I do feel like this is the turning point. So I want us to get out of this heavier energy and really start to feel the hope for like what's coming towards the end of August. Because again, it's like we're kind of in this pressure cooker type of energy right now, and it's been this way all summer. It's probably been this way since March, right? And it's just been packing on and packing on and packing on, and now here it is getting ready to blow type of energy, right? So here's where it's going to get interesting because around August 18th, when Mercury is in Leo, it's going to sextile Mars in Libra. So that's where we're going to see like the first real opportunity for truce. And this is going to be a period when pride is going to soften, defenses will lower just enough for the truth to slip through, right? So pay attention to that date. We're going to talk about the hot dates again more tomorrow night. But if you want to go ahead and circle that on your calendar, I mean, I would, right? I am definitely seeing this as a potential moment where stubbornness can give way to understanding. Silence breaks into more meaningful dialogue. And both counterpart energies, the divine masculine and the divine feminine, suddenly remember why the connection was worth fighting for in the first place. Yes. Yeah, totally looking forward to that energy. Then Venus is going to enter Leo. That's what I meant to say earlier. Venus is in Cancer right now. But on the 25th of August, it's going to move into Leo. And this is where we're going to feel a really dramatic shift. It's like coming in from the cold type of energy. This is when the heart remembers its power. So when love stops being like a battle between the divine masculine and divine feminine, it starts feeling more like coming home again. Again, really looking forward to this energy. I feel like I've been getting closer and closer. I don't want to say like to the end of my rope, but again, it's like that boiling point energy. So, and again, even with all the self-care practices in place, it's definitely like we're ready for this energy to bend, so to speak, right? All right, so here's some crucial dates. First is August 27th. Mark that date on your calendar as well. Again, we'll talk more about the hot dates tomorrow night. But with what's going to happen on the 27th is Venus is going to oppose Pluto. And this is all while the moon is going to be sitting in Scorpio. So hold on to your britches on August 27th. This is like a revelation point energy. So for some twins, this will be a make or break conversation that's probably been avoided for probably several months, right? If not years for some of you guys. It could be sudden clarity about whether to stay or walk away. And it can be an intense purge that's going to leave us feeling raw, but also renewed. I like to call those reunion periods myself. Again, this isn't good or bad. It's, again, about the truth. And the truth, no matter how painful, is always the path to freedom. All right, so here's the light ahead. As we approach the month's end, Uranus is going to be sextile Neptune, and that's going to be on August 28th. Again, we'll talk more all about these energies tomorrow night. But here's what I want you to hold on to. August storms are they're not here to destroy your connection. That's not the point. It's going to be, and there's going to be several storms. We can't really I was telling the mod ladies, like, I'm trying to find a way to spin this astrology to pull the most positive out of the situation. And I did, as long as we can make it to the end of August, right? But I feel like it's going to be almost like hopeful in revealing its core, your core. So what remains standing after August, that's your real foundation. Does that make sense? So whether you emerge together or apart, it doesn't matter because you're going to emerge clear. Whether you reconcile or you release during August, you'll do so consciously. After this month, nothing about your twin flame journey is going to be the same. And that, my soul friends, is how transformation works. The standoff is temporary. The growth is eternal. So keep your heart open and your boundaries stronger because your soul story is being rewritten right now in real time. And again, we'll talk all about those astrological transits tomorrow night at 8 p.m. All right, I'm allowed to go check the chat. All right, so it says Venus kisses the moon tonight. I love that. I can fake smile, but I'm actually dying inside. I truly understand that. Um, Divine timing. Welcome, Sandra. Welcome, ladies. Welcome. All right, let me jump over to TikTok. I just want to see how we're doing over there. We haven't gotten trouble. I can't believe it. I see people. Maybe to you. Hello. Sound is perfect. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Mimi to you says, I feel like when I smile at the moment, I needed it. I love that. Yes. I feel like I'm not saying I don't have like any genuine smiles. Again, my grandson definitely pulls them out of me. Guys, he's fixing to be a year old. He's going to be a year old next Monday. He's the week away. He's practically running. He went from crawling to walking, and it just like a flash, blink of an eye, right? And so it's not it's not that I'm not experiencing joy. I am, but it does definitely feel like we're transmuting so much heavy energy from the world right now that it's almost like it's challenging to, I don't know, like soften ourselves or open that boundary, release that boundary, and allow people to see our vulnerability to give like a genuine, true smile. You know what I mean? That's why I called it my work smile. My son is trying to talk me into looking into this job, kind of like Sandra's, where you do this thing over the phone. You work at home answering phones, so I can, you know, add to my PLR income, right, as we grow. Currently, I work at a lake resort, which is actually where my spiritual awakening very first started back in 2015. So talk about coming full circle, right? Um, but and I love it. I love this job. I do. I got a fancy label. It's the activities director, right? So I get to spend the time with the kids, and it's like I'm telling you, it's like being Santa Claus every weekend. I absolutely love this job. But it definitely can be very stressful, right? It definitely can be very stressful. I do feel that spirit. is again asking us to protect our energies, to be cautious with our energies. I feel like I was talking about this with one of the mod ladies not too long ago, where I was like, we've been talking about this in the lives where Spirit's like, who are you giving your energy to? And it's just been really important that we kind of limit that energy. We're not just giving it to everyone. If you're pretty far into your spiritual awakening, then you know a couple of things. One, you know that you can manifest. Um, you've made shit appear, right? Like out of nowhere, right? Um, Probably several times. um, Two, you know that you're highly protected. Um, I'm not saying, people think that when I say that you're highly protected, that I'm saying like bad stuff doesn't happen to us. Like that is not true at all. You can have spiritual awakening. Life is still happening. I mean, you can be favored and less bad things happen. Absolutely. I do feel that people that are having spiritual awakening are favored in a sense because they're protected, because we're following Spirit's will. Um, but one thing I'm really noticing, that you're probably noticing this far into your journey, is that favor, it kind of flows around us. It's almost like an energy around us, right? So when people come into our environment, suddenly it's easier for them to manifest as well, right? Suddenly they have things coming in quicker than than they normally do it themselves, right? Suddenly they have less challenges, right? It's almost like your protection is extended to those around you. And I think that's why Spirit kept asking me to come here, right? Or Spirit kept sending me to where Spirit was sending me. I'm just figuring this stuff out. Um, but I'm figuring it out because, again, once you get so far into your awakening, you can really start to process the information a lot quicker and a lot different. And you can look back at the people that you experienced, right? That you had interactions with or energy exchange with in whatever shape, way, form, or fashion. And you can see what happens when you remove yourself from their life, right? A lot of times you'll see where people kind of go back to repeating like old broken cycles that they had, gotten away from while you were around, right? Sadly. Um, a lot of times you'll see things like, job loss, car breaking down. It's almost like we're some type of like, and don't take this the wrong way, but I feel like the words I'm hearing is like a karmic doorway or like a karmic portal. It's like we open the door for them because they were trying to keep it shut for so long, right? It's almost like we come into these people's environment and I don't know, we just kind of force them to wake up. And I feel like it's helping me have compassion for the people, you know what I'm saying, that I've come across in my journey. It's also helping me have understanding of why they feel however they feel about things, right? All right, guys. Collective reading is next. Remember, I am going to offer free 3-card energy reads at the end of the collective. I want to move this one down, but I just want to say I am proud of everything that we're doing. Keep pushing is just something that me and my counterpart energy used to just say to each other when I was going through this awakening. The proud of everything you're doing did come after the separation, and it really truly meant a lot to me. A lot has happened. sense that message. I mean, I guess I hope that he's still proud of me, but I don't think about it any longer. I don't worry about it any longer. I'm really just worried about spirit. Like, is spirit proud of me? Am I doing the right thing? Am I in my soul's alignment? Like, that's where my focus really is. I do have the Heal Yourself reading cards. These seem to be the go-to, right, for this particular monthly energy read. The Pride card comes out for the masculine. So the masculine's hiding something, something behind a mask. The mask could be cracking as well. You can see it on the face of the picture. Heat, just like it just got hot in here. So like the masculine could feel like heart is racing. There could be something about heat. Maybe they're outdoors a lot. Maybe it's like a flush to the face type of feeling when I called out the pride energy. But the point of the card is saying that the masculine is learning to, it's almost like they're being forced to show their emotion. It's like they're not able to hide their feelings. It's kind of like it's on their face. It's written on their face. So it's like the masculine could be trying to like lie about something or pretend like something's not bothering them or like they're not bothered, right? Um, and I mean, it's pretty clear that the pride card is the ego energy and definitely what's holding them back. Where is Nama? I hope Nama comes in tonight. I feel like we were just literally just talking about this. Okay, let's look at the feminine energy. So we do have the love card coming out, but I did a little, did you hear it? The 28 love card, she's holding a bottle of poison. That's why I did the little like, so the love card and the heal yourself reading cards is definitely about like unconditional love. It's about healing. But she is holding that bottle of poison, and it's the first thing I saw. It's like what spirit drew me to. So the divine feminine is so guarded right now. Maybe feeling like love is poisonous. I heard the word toxic. Um, could be feeling, there's a lot of feelings, like a lot of emotions. I'm just gonna start spitting them out. I got betrayal, rejection. The betrayal is wow. Um, yeah, the divine feminine feels betrayed. I mean, I guess if I want to be honest with myself, I feel that. And I almost said I try not to think about it. Y'all, could you imagine? Can you imagine having the spiritual awakening and spirit's like, hey, go do a live, read for the collective, and tell people what's happening to you and how you feel. It's like, oh, okay, great. Dina, thank you. Dina says, I resonate with that. Nessa says, my heart has been barbed wire around it. I understand that. Yeah. All right, here it is, the bridging energy. So this is the current lesson. This is how you're going to know. Like, am I having this awakening? Am I on a different type of awakening? Is this, reading for me? Am I going to learn something tonight? Is this going to be helpful for me? You know what I mean? This is it. This is the card right here. Man. And it's the hardest one out of the whole, the whole set. It's number 36. It is the hole in the soul card. Both the divine masculine and the divine feminine. I heard so much stuff just now. I heard I can hear you, which I know. So, I mean, it's possible collectively. Um, the divine masculine is like more open, or I don't feel like they're doing it on purpose, like they want to hear it from the divine feminine. I feel like it's just happening. They just hear. Um, that could be what's cracking the pride, the ego as well. But I feel like it's causing like frustration, anger. Like divine masculine wants to be in control, right? Like if they're not in control, it's like, oh my God. Pain causes us to not feel like we're in control, right? Um, so, I mean, the hole in the soul is this energy of the cord. It's the energy of longing for home. You're longing for that. Oh, I just had the word. Spirit, help me get it back. Um, you're longing for that connection that resonates with you. That's not the word I wanted, but that's the word Spirit gives me. Um, it's a feeling. It's something you remember, and it's something you've been trying to go out into the world and find somewhere else, and you can't. And for the divine masculine, especially, like, whew, they tried. um, some of them are still trying. It's not funny, y'all. It's not funny. It's just as painful. Everybody asks me all the time, like, is it felt on both sides? Oh yeah. I mean, people lie. I promise you, people lie as hard as they can. But the truth always comes out. Um, okay, so the bridging energy is the hole in the soul. The feminine is longing as well. It's making both energies like angry, frustrated. I don't want to be here anymore. Let's finally learn this lesson once and for all. And here's the lesson. I feel like I've been saying this since MJ told us last year. The hole in the soul, again, is this energy like you're longing for something, something you don't have, which is not true. It's not that you don't have it any longer. It's possible you've been neglecting it, but it's not that you don't have it anymore. Um, when you have these types of connections, you feel the pull of the cord, right? Like people, I always talk about like, don't pay somebody to cut cords on a twin flame journey because you're just wasting your money. You actually have to do the work. You actually have to go and heal yourself. Like that's the whole point. So for anybody who's out there like trying to cut cords, and I feel like it's very possible for either side because there's so much frustration. It's almost again like it's building up to this boiling point type of energy. I'm kind of glad that the hole in the soul is the bridging energy for this month's collective because it tells me that there's compassion. It tells me that even though we're angry, even though we're upset, even though we're disappointed, um, there's still like compassion and understanding. And I think that like that's there regardless, like whether you want to have it or not. And I think we're definitely getting to this point where that compassion and understanding is giving us some type of comfort because we know it's there on both sides, right? And it's only going to come from like that person, right? Like that one, that's it. um, because this energy is intense. This is not something that we can um, like run from or hide, right? That's why the mask is cracking. That's why the divine feminine is like, walls up, shut the gates, lock the doors, all the things, right? All right, let's look at the bottom of the deck. So remember, bottom of the deck is the overall energy. We have how teachable are you? I love that this is the bottom of the deck as well. We're all open to receiving downloads, information, all of that stuff. Guys, I can't believe I didn't bring up the 8-8 portal at the beginning of the live. Shame on me. Um, the 8-8 portal is here. This is something that happens every single year. This is like magic in the cosmos, right? It's proof. Like, you can see it. It's not, you go get a telescope. It really happens, right? Um, but it is believed that this is a time when these light codes are really like brought down in such a way, such a powerful way, that we all take in all this new information. And I mean, I agree with that. And I really learned more about the 8-8 portal. Go study the Egyptians, and like go study back in Egyptian time, look up divine feminine energy, you know, in that era. And that's really like when you're going to learn about like Lionsgate portal and like what it's actually for, right? I guess I should probably, I forgot to turn the light down to the hot earlier. There we go. A little brighter so you can see a little better. Um, One, I was just telling somebody not too long ago that I don't think, like, I never came across a story. The divine feminine energy back in the day, like back in the Egyptian time, back in Lionsgate, Portal, you know, all this type of stuff. Um, there was no runner chasers. I didn't find any runners or chasers. They were empowered. They used the energy to manifest and heal and create. Um, they work together as a team. Surprise! I know, right? Um, and it's like, guys, this type of awakening has been around a really, really long time. In case I've never mentioned before, you just didn't know, right? Um, and they didn't have this hole in the soul feeling, right? There wasn't this energy of I'm lacking something or I'm missing something. Like, they knew they were whole. I think as time has like went on, um, I don't know, we've added so much stuff. We've, you know, tried to make it this like fairy tale type of energy that, I don't know, it's not like what it actually is, right? The truth of the matter is challenging because it includes work. It means like something has to happen. You have to do some type of work. You have to do some type of healing. You have to gain some type of wisdom. You have to cleanse, purify. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are all hard things to do. So as time went on, I feel like we probably got lazy, right? I shouldn't say that. We got distracted. Shiny object syndrome, right? Okay, so Page of Wands comes out for the divine masculine. It's the beginning of their spiritual awakening. It's surrendering to their spiritual awakening. Look at divine masculine, surrendering to their spiritual awakenings. The Five of Pentacles comes out, says it's not easy. It's really hard. It's challenging. It's the card that says it's okay to ask for help. I have Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is like breaking free, self-restriction, um, wanting to not be limited. They feel limited. They feel held back, um, restricted. Eight of Swords does talk about it being a self-restriction. So whatever it is, it's like divine masculine is doing it to themselves. Most likely it's the mask. Like, I don't have any feelings. What are you talking about? So it's like that could be like what's holding them back. If they, you know, remove the ego, remove the mask, they could, I shouldn't say remove the ego, because the ego protects you guys. We're supposed to balance everything out. But it has to be, you know, just as much soul as ego, right? I do feel like I feel like divine masculine has been at this energy before, where it's like, okay, I'm going to surrender. I understand that I'm, you know, connected to this energy. I understand that I'm having this awakening. I understand this is for my greater good. I understand God's got my back, all that stuff, right? And then what happens is like I was saying earlier, we realize it's hard and we have work to do. And it's like, oh no, I don't want to do that. That's too much, right? So we go back to like old ways and old things, like a cycle, just this repeated cycle for masculine energy. And I feel like there's some type of breakthrough. Look at the strength card on the bottom, Leo energy. Um, but it's like, I feel like there's some type, and that could be the Leo energy, right? That we're in, that's causing the breakthrough. But it's like, there's some type of, somebody could ask for help. I think that's honestly what it is. All right, I'm going to put the strength card back. I feel like divine masculine is reaching some point where it's like they understand that maybe they can't do something on their own, or they feel like they can't do something on their own. They're ready to ask for direction, I heard, with the Five of Pentacles. All right, let's look at the feminine, the love card. It's like love is poison. I've got my heart locked away. No one's allowed to look at it, touch it, smell it, nothing. Two of Wands comes out. That's an important decision. I talked about this. I talked about this at the beginning of the live. Like, I can pull the notes back up. Is that Nama? Morning, Nama? Girl, the masculine energy. Oh. But I talked about this. I talked about how, like, this is really an opportunity for the divine masculine. Are you going to step forward or retreat further into your, again, newfound independence? With the feminine, will you keep nurturing what you're not ready to grow? It's definitely the fear or surrender energy, right? Like, are you going to stay in fear that love is poison, love is bad, everything hurts? Or are you going to surrender to the journey that you're on, right? All right, we also have Six of Pentacles coming out. So Six of Pentacles says that you get help, you get assistance, and I heard spiritual help. So, and we have the Hanged Man, Pisces energy. I love that I picked Llewellyn Tarot. So the Hanged Man in regular Rider Waite is a card that talks about being stuck, scared to make a move. I feel like if you did to make some type of move, then you would lose something or slip away from something like that. Um, in the Llewellyn Tarot, the Hanged Man is not hanging upside down. He's not stuck in his head. He's moved into his heart space and he's manifested some type of freedom. I feel like Divine Feminine, you've already done this. You've already done this. The choice is, do you want to help other people do it? And you can't really do that if you have your heart locked in that cage, right? All right, let's look at that hole in the soul. It's definitely a longing. It's like a nostalgia, thinking back on when times were better, remembering happy moments, remembering real smiles. I knew it was going to come back up. I just knew it. That's what it is, though. Both the divine feminine and divine masculine are remembering like when they smiled, like for real, and it was genuine and they meant it. It definitely feels very forced now. So Two of Swords comes out. Two of Swords is this energy of feeling stuck. I heard mental clarity. Um, like not knowing which direction to go. The interesting part about the Two of Swords, if you again look at Rider Waite, she is sitting on this rock out in this water, and it talks about how she's like, she's afraid to to move. She's found this, like she landed here and she's afraid to get off this rock and go explore anywhere else because she doesn't realize that the water around her, she thinks it's going to drown her and take her away or sweep her away. And she doesn't realize that the water around her is actually really shallow and she can just stand up and walk to like wherever the next landing place is. We have the Chariot. The Chariot says move quickly. It also says that like the win is already yours, the victory is already yours. And we have Judgment coming out. Surprise. That's Scorpio energy. It's actually not my Scorpio energy, but I'm the Cancer energy, Cancer rising, and my counterpart is Scorpio sun, Scorpio rising. So can you imagine? Um, but it is about like it's time to stop claiming we're stuck. It's time to understand that like she's on land. In this picture, she's not even in the shallows. Like she's on land. Like you can make a move. And you need to do it quickly. You need to do it quickly. And the move is not, I know everybody wants to make it a fairy tale and everybody's like, oh, go towards each other, right? No, judgment is here. And judgment is purpose. It's your calling. Here's something I do know about this type of spiritual awakening journey. Both counterpart energies have a calling. The masculine energy has a calling, something that they're going to feel compelled to go do. And the feminine energy is going to have a calling, something that they feel compelled to go do. Both of these energies are guided. Both of these energies are told what to do. Whether the divine masculine realizes it, acknowledges it, or not, they're told. I feel like the pride makes the divine masculine go, oh, this is my decision. I made this good choice. I got myself to this lucky spot. I mean, it's possible for some that are not, they're still at the beginning with the Page of Wands. I do sense some type of like boiling point frustration from spirit side because things are slow, weak. I heard fear causes us to be weak, and the Chariot is not weak at all. The Chariot and Judgment together, I'm just saying, these are two very powerful major arcana. And I just want to point out that when you see a major arcana, it means that spirit had to step in. For divine masculine could feel like, I'm standing out here on my own. Where's spirit? Like, this is hard. I'm getting sick of this type of thing. For the divine feminine, we have the Hanged Man, which is that spirit had to step in to help you move from your head space to your heart space. And for the bridging energy, spirit's having to move in to make us go faster, quicker, and to show us our calling and to align us to our purpose, right? So when you see major arcanas, that means that those are divinely fated energies. So that means spirit steps in and helps you get unstuck, right? And I feel like we are surrendering because we're all tired of the hole in the soul feeling, right? That's pretty easy. All right, bottom of the deck, I see the Four of Swords. Four of Swords says there's a blessing in disguise. All right, I'm going to use the Vintage Wisdom Oracle next. I'm going to look at the masculine energy specifically. I'm looking at the head space, the heart space, and the masculine's higher self lesson at this time. So we have the Trust card coming out for the headspace. So divine masculine could be struggling to trust at this time, especially if they're experiencing some challenges. In the heart space, we have abundance coming out. This definitely could be a message back and forth. I'm not sure which way just yet. It could just be abundance, like having heart chakra activation, heart chakra awakening, which just means that the divine masculine is becoming more compassionate and more understanding. And then higher self lesson, we have centering. So this is this energy of finding your center, grounding yourself. It's definitely giving me like the yin yang. It's definitely like divine masculine could be starting to learn right now. Like I said this too at the beginning of the live, like the purpose, the whole reason this whole thing happened, right? And it is about finding our inner masculine and feminine balance, right? Like that is the point of our spiritual awakening. All right, so I'm going to use I actually had these turned around earlier and I was going to do them different, but I'm looking at um, the purple tarot. My son got me these tarot cards from New Orleans a few years back. We're going to use those for the divine masculine. I was actually going to use them for the divine feminine when I was setting the cards out, but Spirit just says, I'm not saying that divine feminine is not dealing with some shadow energy. Guys, go check out my shadow journals, just saying. But I do feel that the masculine is as well. The masculine is as well. I tend to use, excuse me, the purple tarot when we're looking at shadow energies. Mama says, if my purpose is all about what we talked about, I will be pissed. All right, let's look at the trust card. For divine masculine, I said, I feel like they're struggling to trust the journey, to have faith in their journey, to trust the guidance. Maybe they're going through something that's challenging. They could be questioning, like, is this even happening to me? What is going on? You know, that type of thing. So we have Five of Cups coming out. Five of Cups does talk about loss and despair. We have the Death card coming out, so it's Scorpio energy again. And we have the Tower. So now we have Scorpio and Aries. I want to point out the Tower is Mars energy, and Mars is the ruler of Aries and Scorpio. I know that a lot of people just think Mars is Aries, but it's Aries and Scorpio. Seven of Cups is on the bottom. Seven of Cups is about like choices, but I heard like which wolf are you going to feed? So the divine masculine could be experiencing a lot of loss. That's this Five of Cups energy, a lot of endings and transformation in their life, and a lot of tower moments. I mean, that would make sense as to why the mask is cracking, right? Like why they're not able to like cover their emotions, so to speak, right? Why they're struggling to trust, that spirit's got their back, especially if they're experiencing a lot of tower moments. It takes a long time. I'm 10 years in, right? So it takes a long time to realize that this probably just happened to me this year, where it's like, I appreciate the tower moments. Like I actually have gratitude for the tower moments because I understand that it means, again, major arcana. So again, spirit had to step in. The tower says that there's an obstacle in your way and you refuse to remove it, right? To go around it. So it's like spirit just takes it out of your way so you can continue on your path without that obstacle there. But many times the obstacle is usually like something that we're holding on to, right? So divine masculine was probably holding on to something, didn't want to let something go. They've lost something, and that could definitely be giving them some trust issues currently, right? All right, let's look at the abundance in the heart space. So we have Page of Pentacles. It's a new offer, a new beginning. We have Knight of Pentacles. It's the Get to Work card. And we have Ace of Cups. I'm I'm struggling a little bit here, I have to admit. Sure a minute. Okay, I want to say that I feel like it's the divine feminine has some type of offer that she's sending to the divine masculine. I do feel like it's a small offer, like a first step type of thing. Could have something to do with work, could have something to do with spiritual work. But that's news to me, so I'm just like, what? It definitely could be a message from the masculine to the feminine as well. Like this could be like the divine masculine surrendering and saying like, hey, I'm done running. I'm gonna stop and have some accountability. And I'm ready to heal, and I'm ready to in this very emotional, painful, challenging situation, right? And that's done with centering. I mean, so that makes sense. With grounding, right? With implementing and integrating your spiritual lessons from your awakening, right? So it makes sense that that's the divine masculine's higher self lesson. All right, so we have Ace of Pentacles coming out. So again, new offer, new start. I'm hearing clean slate. King of Cups, again, that's a clue card for divine masculine, but it's about getting um, your emotions in control, not allowing your emotions to um, control your actions. Again, it is my clue card for divine masculine. I used to say that it was the energy of a counselor, a mentor, a therapist, and remember, we added coach, because these are people who are they're strong emotionally. We go to them normally to uh, get help or assistance with some type of something, right? Like we talk to therapists, we tell our coaches things, um, we experience these moments, these emotional moments, right? So that's King of Cups energy. I'm getting something about some type of new offer for a counselor, a therapist, a mentor, or coach. If you know my personal journey, I'm just saying it's pretty unique there. Um, but it's all involved in this higher self lesson. Like, can you center? Can you find your center? Can you ground yourself? Can you balance your masculine protect and provide energy with your feminine nurture and self-care energy? Ace of Wands comes out and it says, yes, you can, because Ace of Wands is fate and destiny. So it's clear divine masculine is at some type of surrendering in their journey. Um, I feel like we've been feeling this. So I feel like that's why the standoff kind of like, I don't know, it kind of shocked me, or like I didn't see it coming type of thing. Like I didn't think we would get to this boiling point type of energy. But I guess it makes sense because it's almost like what happened. I always at the beginning of this journey, at the beginning of my awakening, would say, I feel like I'm being pulled by my hair. I feel like I'm like spiritual awakening, like spirit's just like, hey, you're going this way, and I'm like, no, please don't take me. Like, let me just go back to my regular, everyday, drunken life of misery. Don't make me do all this stuff to be a better human, right? And I feel like that's kind of what's happening for divine masculine here. I'm finding it pretty interesting. All right. Four of Wands is on the bottom. It is the 1111. It is the, twin flame clue card. All right, now we're going to do the same. We're going to look at the feminine energy next. We have listening coming out in the headspace for the divine feminine. I feel like you're about to do some listening. I feel like spirit has been, especially like on the one-on-ones and things like that, like spirit's really been, I talk a lot, guys. Like I talk a lot. But spirit has definitely been working with me on not just listening, but like listening without feeling like I need to have something to say back. Does that make sense? Like you're not really hearing someone if you, I just got in trouble, but you're not really hearing someone if you are worried about what you have to say back to them. Does that make sense? Like you're not able to like fully, I don't know, like submerge yourself into what someone's saying if you're worried about, if you're thinking in your head, like, oh, what's my response going to be? Right. So, like, that's kind of the lesson that I feel like Spirit's been having me do. So, that could be something that's happening for Divine Feminine. It's like you're realizing, one, that you don't have to fix everything. You're not the fixer, right? We're not enablers. We're done with that crap. Um, And two, it's like we don't have to have the answer, right? Like people can come up with their own solutions to their own problems. It's kind of the energy. Listening to someone vent or like just get it out is more helpful, I think. This is what Spirit is trying to teach me, than having a reply or like having an answer to their problem or solution to their problem, right? All right, let's look at the heart space. We have perception. There's the mask, Sandra. Remember the mask? Um, Perception is, I mean, how are you perceiving things? How are you seeing things? How are you understanding things? So that is a message. So the divine feminine, I don't think divine feminine is making any type of offer. I think the divine feminine is just showing the masculine the way, like the route. And the message from divine masculine, remember, the telepathy is in the heart space. I know we want to think it's in the third eye. Some people think it's the crown chakra. Um, it is through the heart chakra. It's emotion, it's feeling, it's energetic emotion. I don't know how else to say that. Um, so when the energies communicate with one another, it's through the heart space. So again, I feel like divine feminine with the abundance and page of pentacles, knight of pentacles, ace of cups is like, here, this is the route. Like, get yourself together and go this way, right? And for the divine masculine, it's like there's this, I don't know, it's like a choice, again, a decision to be made. Are you going to choose fear, or are you just going to surrender to what the heck is happening, right? So do you look at it as, oh my God, this is awful, I don't want people to know? Oh, I remember when I felt that. Or or do you I just the divine masculine. But anyway, or do you want to see it as alignment? Do you want to see it as surrendering and ending all the, I almost said a really bad word, all the challenges and obstacles that you've been experiencing? It's like that's the perception the divine masculine has to choose. And could be telling the divine feminine, this is what I choose. We'll clarify. All right, for higher self, for the divine feminine, we have the compassion card coming out. Guys, I always pull myself a few cards with whatever cards I'm going to use to see like what my own very specific energy is, right? And I got the compassion card earlier. So if you're mad, look at the divine feminine. You're mad. You're like, love is war. Love is painful. Love is poison. So if you're mad and divine masculine is, you know, getting put through it, and I don't know, comes to you in some way, maybe for some guidance or like, which way am I supposed to go here? The compassion is going to be everything, right? If you shut it down, if you are closed off, if you're angry, if you're bitter, if you're still focused on your expectations, well, and here's what I'm going to say. Remember, I told you with the astrology, like, keep your boundaries strong. You can have strong boundaries and still have compassion. That is also a lesson that I just experienced this week. Like, you can hold your boundary and still listen and still have compassion and understanding, and could help the divine masculine or your counterpart energy change their perception of such. All right, for the divine feminine, I chose the tarot of the sweet twilight. I'm ready to crack that sea like Moses, Mama. And it says every phase has its purpose, and that too will pass. That is factual. You won't be in the moment and not aligned to the current phase. I agree with that. Nama says, is anyone else feeling the intense energy the past few days, week, month? Just checking. Nama, you came in late. You have to watch the beginning of the live. We talked about just that. All right, let's look at the listening card. Nama's on the other side of the world, y'all. I'm just picking on her. I'm not being serious. Okay, so the listening card for Divine Feminine in the headspace. So these are your thoughts, what you're thinking about. The King of Pentacles comes out. I picked the Tarot of the Sweet Twilight, of course. The King of Pentacles. Wow. It's very specific in this tarot set. Let me show it to you. It's, see how they're standing back to back? See that? So King of Pentacles is protector, provider. But it's the I got your back energy. So I got your back. So Divine Feminine, I mean, you could be listening to Divine Masculine because you have their back. There could be some type of healing that's happening from when they had your back, right? Because I kind of picked that energy up too. But Temperance comes out with healing. It's very slow moving energy. And the Nine of Swords comes out. The Nine of Swords is definitely surrender. It's fear. It's fear. I feel like the Divine Masculine goes to the Divine Feminine because they have fear of their spiritual journey, their healing journey, the path that they're on. I think Divine Feminine is going to listen compassionately and help the Divine Masculine see something in a different perspective. And that is about as, what did that person call me the other day? A fortune teller? That's about as fortune teller as I'm allowed to get. So I'm just saying, when this happens, Divine Feminine, in August, don't forget me. Come back and tell me. Hey, Rosa, I never thought this person was going to say, hey, I need a little help. But they did. All right, let's look at perception in the heart space for Divine Feminine. We have the Queen of Swords. Again, high boundaries, line in the sand type of energy. This is very fierce energy in the Tarot of the Sweet Twilight. She's not playing around. She's maybe slightly angry. Slightly angry is kind of the energy I'm getting there. I do see the Star. I went through all these cards and it's coming out in reverse. I mean, I already said it, slightly angry. So there's something about like a new start, a new beginning that has the Divine Masculine like in some type of twisted way. Three of Cups is here. Oh, wow. Wonder what that Three of Cups is about, right? Three of Cups is third party. So, I mean, Divine Masculine has dealt with a lot of third party, right? Like we all know this, right? Again, it's because they're trying to replace the energy, right? So they could be upset that some third party situation didn't work out, right? The Star is like bright hope for the future. It's in reverse. So they could be upset. That's why the angry Queen of Swords came out. And then the Three of Cups, again, I picked the Tarot of the Sweet Twilight, so it's a little bit different than regular Rider-Waite. So a little bit different than just third party. It is, I mean, it's still third party, but look how she's, I don't know if you guys can see the card. There's these two little squirrels down here, like all getting into these wine glasses that she has set out here. They're like scurrying around. It's messy. It's I don't know, but the energy is like, why am I here? Why is this going on around me? Why did I put myself in this situation? How do I get out of this situation? And that is the energy coming through the heart space, which is a message from Divine Master. It's also the card that says too many people are involved. So they could feel like too many people are telling them what to do. They could feel like they kind of want to break away from everything and everyone. They could feel like they're losing hope because the star was in reverse. But again, that's why this Queen of Swords is like, I'm mad, I'm angry. It's not what I wanted. It's not how I wanted it. I don't know what to say to that. Welcome to Spiritual Awakening. All right, compassion is here. So divine, look at me. I just got, do you see the trouble I'm going to get into? Oh my gosh. Don't be like, welcome to Spiritual Awakening. Have compassion. Have understanding. Don't be a Rosa smartass, right? Like that's not going to be helpful. When this energy becomes very, very vulnerable. All right, so compassion is the higher self lesson. Look at the lovers coming out. Talk about perfect timing. Again, not a fairy tale romance. This is the card that says, I choose to heal me so that I can come into union whole, right? So I feel like divine feminine, you chose the divine feminine is always a little ahead. Guys, I don't make the rules. I don't know. It's been like that since the beginning of time. I don't know why. Um, uh, but I just want to point out that divine feminine, like the creator, just pointing that out, right? But anyway, I'm not going to get into that argument. But it is this energy of like, again, I want to heal myself so that I can go into something whole. So that could be like what the divine masculine wants to talk about. That could be like what the divine feminine has to have compassion about. Like, get this. What if, and I'm just, I shouldn't do that. Um, let me help me out. um, all right. Imagine a scenario where you're on a twin flame journey and been going through it for a long time. Um, both parties have broken away from karmic energies. Um, one is in self isolation, practically, and the other is, I don't want to say like on the rebound, but it's definitely this energy of like, and has nothing to do with divine feminine, by the way, because divine masculine also breaking away from karmic energies. But it's like wanting to ignore the healing part and just kind of move on, right? And it's like it's very possible that they've tried to move on, and this is coming out for a divine feminine higher self. So I mean, this could be both. This could be both energies. It's like we've tried to move on without doing some of the healing. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting. So when divine masculine comes and says, hey, I need some type of, direction, some type of hope, some type of fresh start. I need to know how to heal so I don't have to keep going through this stuff. You're going to have compassion because the divine feminine's already went through that. We already know what that felt like. Somebody asked me once, I was doing a private reading and they were kind of, they were 20 years in, guys, 20 years into their journey. And the divine masculine just wanted to move on. The person just wanted to uh, like start a new relationship and just forget all of the things, right? If it was that easy, I feel like I say this all the time. If it was that easy and we didn't have to heal, We didn't have to awaken. We didn't have to surrender, and we didn't have to have compassion and understanding. Um, we would never hear about this journey. No one would ever have these experiences. And I don't know about you, but I'm finally getting, and I know some of you are going to agree, like I'm finally getting to this point where I'm seeing the positive. Like I'm seeing growth. I'm I'm seeing spiritual growth. Um, I'm seeing it in my physical life as well. PLR, we're growing. Miss Oh, welcome. Um, and I'm grateful for it. Like I'm glad I'm not the same Rosa that was in the bottom of the vodka bottle, crying every night, missing someone, wondering why they keep choosing someone else. You know what I mean? Like I don't miss that at all whatsoever. I like getting up in the mornings and um, checking my analytics. I like to see how much I've grown. How many t-shirts did I sell while I was sleeping last night? For those of you that are buying my new merch, I love you. I love you. I love you. Guys, if you don't know, I made new merch this week as well. It's over on my website. Go check it out. The Nine of Cups comes out. Nine of Cups is normally divine wishes being granted. And I do feel like this is something that divine feminine has wished for, like for the masculine to heal. Guys, I've burnt it on bay leaves, okay? Like I'm telling you, I was serious about this. um, but it's more than that. It's a surrendering. It's not just healing. It's a surrendering to the journey, right? And we have the Nave of Wands. Nave of Wands in the Tarot of the Sweet Twilight is like the Knight of Wands. Normally, it's energy that says, like, don't be reckless at this time. And that's very possible coming out for the Divine Feminine and the Higher Self lesson at this time. Like, keep choosing you. Someone's going to come ask you about how you do that. Like, how did you get to this part? Like, how did you surrender? And you don't want to be reckless when that happens. You want to be very compassionate and understanding and listen, right? Um, but it's also the like get excited. Knight of Wands also means like get excited. Jenna says, I have loved my twin flame for 30 years. Wow. Jenna, that's a long time. I don't know. I don't know when it happened for me. Like people say that it's instantaneous when the eye contact thing happens. Um, I, I was in a very not healthy relationship and I didn't make eye contact with people. The first thing I noticed about this person was their voice, um, because they said something to me, and at that point, I looked up, but even then, like the eye contact was very brief, very brief. Like I was in this relationship where it's like if I made eye contact with another man, I just felt guilty or like this is going to cause an argument. You know what I mean? So it's like I just didn't. Um, I was married to someone who cheated, right? And they projected all of their um, crap onto me, right? Um, I feel like I realized like I know when the moment was that I realized like something weird was happening. um, right? And that was in 2016. And then I think in 2017 is like when I started to learn about like twin flames and um, that kind of stuff. And 2018, I took my ass to church every Sunday. um, I was scared, right? Uh, 2019, found God. Thank God, right? I guess it would really be 2020, March of 2020, right? When I went to the Trace Diaz and COVID happened. I guess that's when I knew I had God. Like God had my back and I was gonna be okay. I was gonna make it. Um, it's gonna be it's gonna be 2019, the end of 2018, the end of 2019. It's also like when I was going through like Dark Night of the Soul, and that's when I realized that I had some type of like really. I mean, how do you explain it? How do you explain how you feel? I don't know. I think it's more than love. Like it's not just I say I love people all the time. Like literally, I'm one of those people that I say I love you. I said I love you to my boss the other day. It was weird. I want to say it was like I don't know. I may have done it in person or in a text. But again, just accident. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just used to saying it to all the people because I love everyone. I don't know. But it's weird when you accidentally say it to your boss. You know what I'm saying? It's like she's probably thinking like, what the hell? But anyway, you know. um, I don't know. I feel like I was more fascinated by the experiences that were unexplainable that I was having than the emotion that I had. And I feel like I love everyone. So my Venus is in Pisces. Like I love everyone's soul. If you have a soul, I love it. Right. All right, let's do some messages. I feel like this part has me just slightly nervous. Not really sure why. So this is the part where we pull some messages from the divine masculine to the divine feminine. These could be 3D messages or what they call 5D messages, higher self messages. In other words, these could be things that they've actually said to you before, so it could give you like confirmation. It could be things that they've wanted to say, like a text that was typed out but it wasn't sent, email that was deleted, something like that. And it could also be a higher self message, like their higher self wants you to know a specific thing. I'm going to do both from divine masculine to divine feminine. I think, Jenna, what I wanted to say earlier is when I first started PLR, my biggest fear was the 20-year separation. I didn't want to deal with that. I didn't know, right? And there were so many people that came to PLR right about the time I started that were in this, big, long periods of separation. I just seen the help me call. Um, But I do feel that many of you that were in those long periods of separation have come into a reunion period. Um, like separation was broken, like you came back together for a period of time. Some of you stay together, and some of you have, went on your way again. So I find that interesting as well. It's like spirit guided you to PLR, like literally right before this person returned after 20 years. I mean, come on, what's the odds? I don't know. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have this for 20 years. Like, no way. It's easier for me to be wrong than right comes out. It's a little bit of victim consciousness. I got one earlier where I was pulling some for myself before the live. This one fell out on its own. Proud of everything you're doing. Keep pushing. It's again one of my favorites, so I kept it out. But when I pulled the one for my own, it was the energy that said, I'll always be the bad guy. Again, victim consciousness. It's actually really narcissistic thing to say. No accountability. It's just like, oh, I guess I'm just a bad guy, so whatever. Um, so that's kind of the vibe, right, that I'm getting. So the help me card could definitely be like a higher self, right? Like the higher self knows that they're coming into some type of alignment. Remember I said they're going to ask for help, or they're going to reach out, whatever. Um, but a little bit of victim consciousness coming out with it, easier for me to be wrong than right. Keep pushing. This is the very first OG card ever made. I have no regrets. I can tell what years. These are like by the card color. I did what I thought was best. These are all divine masculine. Your energy feels forceful right now. Still divine masculine to divine feminine. Ooh. The Four Roses comes out. That's escapism. It's where we drink or smoke or do whatever we shouldn't be doing excessively in order to not feel something. I don't know. I don't have any words. I'm on my way is on the bottom. That's a um, newer. Not that. Um, Last summer. All right. You have always been great. You just needed to realize it. Comes out for divine feminine to divine masculine. That was actually said to me. It was it was at the same time. I don't know. It just made me feel good. The moon is our telephone. Connect with me. Um, this was a meme, like a Facebook thing that got sent. Don't tell anyone, but I'm struggling to get back up this time. This is all divine feminine to divine masculine. Um, I want to say that was also last summer. I never felt wrong for loving you. This was Kundalini activation, June 2023. Isn't it weird how I can remember these? Everything you're doing to heal is helping me. Thank you. It's going to be a higher self message from divine feminine to divine masculine. So that kind of confirms that divine masculine is doing something to heal, right? They're surrendering to the journey. And is it helping divine feminine? Well, of course. Of course. Why can't I stop thinking of you? That's why divine feminine has that, love is poison energy, right? You taught me that I have purpose. That's factual. I would have just kept going on with my life the way it was, right? I'm here. This is January of this year. It says the light comes in on the bottom. Separation period ended. I feel like when I'm in separation or no contact or like just trying to stay in my own lane, um, it kind of feels like the dark moon card from the Queen of the Moon. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like that long dark path. And you just are like waiting for this light to shine in type of thing. I used to tell my counterpart that I felt like I was in a box. Like it felt like I was, I don't know, like it was just this box. And whenever we would um, have these like reunion periods, somebody asked me the other day if reunion meant sex. How can I see? No, not always. But whenever we would have these reunion periods, I feel like the light would come in, right? Does that make sense? I mean, I hate to admit that, but that's how I felt. All right, I'm starting to see, to understand, but what if it's too late was on the bottom? How do you guys think tonight's live is going? Think it's going okay? I feel like July's live stream was super challenging for me. It was not one of my better ones. It's just at the beginning of the set. Um, and so I really wanted to focus like on the energies. I really wanted to get the message out clearly. This time I wanted to take my time as well and not rush it. I feel like with July's I was frustrated. And I definitely rushed it. Mystic Serene, welcome to joining me on TikTok. Look at us over there live streaming. I love it. I gotta get three. I gotta get three in this week. I'm gonna do it, guys. I'm gonna do it. All right, Tree of Life Oracle is my guidance. I will read it out of the book. This is spiritual guidance for all of us. I don't know why I said it's my guidance. The root card, this reading definitely gave me that. I remember I said that at the very beginning of the live, that the astrology for the month of August is really going to make us realize like why all of this happened in the first place, right? So definitely like getting to the root of the situation. Let's see what else comes out. That's it. All right, bottom of the deck is the Twigs card. It does talk about like clearing out your past, removing any debris, all of that kind of stuff. But we're going to read the root card out of the Tree of Life Oracle. It's going to be, it's number 3, my favorite. And guess what? It's on page 11. Surprise. All right, let's get serious. Spirit says, let's get serious. That's what I just heard. All right, let me see. Okay, so root says belonging, depth, permanence, steadfast resolve, unseen forces, self-assurance, despair, doubt, stubbornness, overconfidence, and stagnation. Um, I was trying to look for the card. There it is. The Five of Cups. Remember, this was for the Divine Masculine's headspace. Trust. That was the despair energy. Doubt, stubbornness, overconfidence, and stagnation. Again, number 11 in the Tree of Life, on page 11, Tree of Life Oracle, number 3. All right, so it says Tree of Life root card reminds us that wherever you go, you belong here on earth. You are the only you on the planet and are unique and important. You do not have to prove your worth. Be assured that you are worthy and substantial simply by being. So substantial, I can say it, oh mercy, simply by being. And from that place of inner calm, you will feel yourself taking root. You do not have to seek approval, and you do not have to allow others to make up your own mind for you. Tree of Life root asks you to let your feelings drop thoroughly into your primal root chakra. Feel your feet go deep into the ground as roots reaching for substance, and know that you belong. When you stand with certainty of your inner worth, nobody can knock you down. You see below the surface to the depths and can find strength in your resolve to be valued and to exercise your rights. Others may underestimate you because they're not aware of the deep riches you carry within you. Let them discover that you are not a wisp or a tumbleweed, but a substantial presence and a majestic being. Sometimes self-doubt causes people to go adrift. If you do not feel you belong in some way, and the pain of that causes you despair, know that you can get down to the root of the matter and find answers you need. I'm hearing something. I'm trying to get it out. I heard that the divine masculine could feel like they're not divine. That just could be because the divine masculine feels like they're in their wounded energy. Knowledge is power, guys. Knowledge is power. Okay. You may be right. Perhaps you do not fit in well with a particular group or institution. Do you feel nervous or anxious, lacking in confidence? This is a signal that should tell you that you cannot take root in all places and with all people. If you are with those who do not recognize your true gifts, co-workers who are competitive, or those who deny your acknowledgement, it is time to root elsewhere. Tree of Life root reminds you that you have the right to thrive where you belong and where you feel the most at home. Another way to see Tree of Life root is to notice when you're too grounded or not allowing spontaneity into your life. This is for Divine Feminine. Are you afraid to make changes or swift decisions that may benefit you? Are you determined to stay where you are, even if you're not properly nurtured in your current position? Does stubbornness keep you from experiencing your true potential? You need to be uprooted at times and to shake the old dust away on your way to find new, fertile soil. This is going to be for both. Fears can keep us from transcending. If you feel stagnant, take a risk and usher in your dreams come true. Don't allow others to hold you back, or you may hold yourself back, not because where you are right now is best for you, but out of fear of change. Journal daily to figure out what your fears are so that you can be released to find new territory to establish yourself. Trust your inner voice to guide you and do not be afraid to make changes for the best. Your roots are there to see to it that you are well taken care of and receive all you need to reach for the sun and the stars. That's it, guys. That's going to be your collective reading for the month of August. I feel like, again, the root card and the Tree of Life Oracle just repeated the entire reading back to us in 2 pages and really wrapped up what I talked about with the astrology and the energies that we're feeling at the beginning of this live. So I love when Spirit, I feel like Spirit does it every single time. When we pull the guidance card, just wraps it all up nice and sweet, right? All right, guys. So this is the part. This is the time where I'm going to offer free 3 card reading. I'll pull for your masculine energy, your feminine energy, and your bridging energy. So if anybody is interested, let me know now. Let me know. Let the moderators know. I am going to clean up a little bit and just breathe. I didn't cry, which is super cool, right? I feel like a lot of times I cry with these monthly ones. It's just a lot of emotion and it's all at once. So it's like, ooh. I think we're gonna stick with the Tarot of the Sweet Twilight for the readings tonight. I like using tarot because you get so much more when you look at an oracle card. I mean, I guess you can get as much as you want from an oracle card, but it tends to have a very specific meaning. And with tarot, the symbolism and I mean, it could definitely have like more than one, right? But you get a lot of different things. Like I can get zodiac signs from the tarot. I can tell you like who's who or who's in what energy. You know what I mean? Okay, I want to use Sarah the Sweet Twilight, but apparently we're going to use the Blue Ellen Tarot first. I thought I seen one for Thursday. Okay. Oh, it's turning out to be a very nice evening, Mystic Serene on TikTok. Thank you so much. Let me get back to the chat. I need to change my name. Mama says. Divine Timing says same. I'm flipping to English. Let's not make this weird. Your Venus is in Pisces too. How cool is that? I imagine a lot of our charts are very similar, or the complete opposite, right? Because we're representations of the masculine and the feminine, right? It's very true. Nama says, I just came to realize that Venus in Pisces is not easy for us feminines. It's very, very true. She says, oh, my guy is smoking his butt off. Dawn is breaking over there. Dina says, what a year it's been so far. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Mallory, welcome. Miss L says, please tap the support button. Absolutely, guys. I know I forget to ask. I also want to mention really quickly before I forget, because I will forget stuff. It's not that Here's another lesson I've been getting. It's not that I don't think that, like, some people struggle to like advertise their services um, due to like their belief system or lack of confidence or all of that kind of stuff. And honestly, for me, that's not it at all. Like, I know that what I'm offering is helpful because spirit guided me to make it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that, it's normally that there's just so much going on in this head of mine, that it's just hard to remember all the things like, hey, will you hit the like button, please? Because it's definitely very helpful, right? And also, I do want to mention the new merch, guys. Go check out my new t-shirts. I think some of you are gonna really like them. Uh, and then I actually created a new membership, guys. It's a new PLR group membership. It's over on my personal website. We're going to start it this month, the month of August, and it's going to be a healing therapeutic. I'm calling it the Twin Flame Soul Circle. And I would like to meet once a week. Right now, I have it set up for Mondays, but I imagine as more of us get in there, I will talk to you guys and find out like what's the better day for us, because we do have more than just Monday to choose from. But yeah, I'm going to be offering this weekly, um, session where we get to go in and have twin flame discussions just solely on this very interesting type of spiritual awakening journey. I do intend on having like sharing my resources, like different shadow work journals. I want to share different books that I've read that I have found useful on my journey, the podcasts that I listen to, that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's all going to be as a membership over on my new website. So go check that out. Links are always in the description box, guys. We did a membership over there when we did the astrology course. You guys remember that? We did the astrology classes. That was fun. So I definitely got to go, a practice round, so I know what I need to do to have them. Uh, like the video, I struggled with getting video over there when we first started doing astrology, but I figured it out towards the end, right? So now we're going to do like our first one with everything figured out. I'm kind of excited about it. And I kept asking Spirit, like, what should I do? Should we do more astrology? Should we teach people how to read tarot? And no, Spirit said we're gonna talk about this thing that's really hard to talk about with other people. Like, people need a safe space to be able to have these conversations. So that's what I have created. Again, I'm calling it Twin Flame Soul Circle. So if you want to join my Soul Circle, guys, go check out my PLR website. Thank you, Diana. I was just getting ready to get to your message. So that's probably ESP, right? I love it. Yes, yes. And I want it to be more of like a discussion. I want us to be able to talk to each other. I want you to join me in that live, right? Because if I could do it myself and it just be a class, I would put it for like 8 a.m. and just come watch it when you can, right? Um, But that's the thing, is when we connect live, there's definitely something very magical that happens, right? And so I just think it's going to be better for us to do it at a live time. So that's my idea. I wanted to do 6 p.m. But I think Spirit's telling me 8 p.m. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when we get over there. And I also heard like once we get it going, we'll talk to each other and figure out like when is a better time. All right. Nama says I'm here and ready. All right, Nama. Okay. So remember, my intention here is to look at your divine masculine and your divine feminine energies. Remember, everyone has these energies within ourselves. And I feel like Spirit's really been pushing that. Like I need to be saying that more often, because that's where our focus needs to be. Can you sense your divine masculine counterpart's essence in other people around you and your experiences? Yes, absolutely, right? So I'm going to pull the energy. This is current energy. So right now, we're live streaming. It's July 28th for Nama's masculine, feminine, and then your bridging energy. Remember, the bridging energy is the current spiritual lesson. All right, so we have the sun coming out. That could be some Leo energy, but it's actually, there's a spotlight being shown on something. The spotlight that's being shown, like the something that's being shown on, could have something to do um, with like a child or someone young, or maybe someone not at their fullest potential. The word I'm hearing is immature. So I don't want to like, hurt anybody's feelings. But you could be dealing with someone who's maybe younger and maybe a little immature. I'm just saying. All right, Knight of Pentacles is going to come out for your feminine energy. So Knight of Pentacles is you need to get to work. You need to do something. You could be planting some seeds. The thing about the Knight of Pentacles, though, is, ooh, the uphill is sticking out to me. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so the thing with the Knight of Pentacles, Nama, is the ground is always like tilled behind him. It's always ready to go. It's always ready for the seed to be planted, but he's just holding the seed in his hand. He's not actually like planting it into the ground. And this Knight of Pentacles, it's the same thing, but Spirit pointed out to me that the ground is going uphill. So he is literally planting seeds uphill. So that's the feminine energy there. And it just kind of is this energy of like, just get to work, which is funny because I posted about this morning. I was like, man, I'm super emotional. I wanted to go cry to Spirit, and Spirit was like, this isn't a crying moment. Like, be happy for all the abundance. Like, yes, you're tired, but look at all you've created. Look at all you've put out into, um, you know, the world, right? And look at like the abundance that's coming in. So it was like I needed to focus on the positive instead of like, that I was tired and whatnot, right? From the work that I had to do. So there's something about that there. Okay, bridging energy. We have the King of Wands. All right, so the King of Wands, this is bridging energy. So remember, this is the current spiritual lesson on both sides, and it's very clear. The King of Wands, be humble, be humble. The King of Wands is, of course, courageous. Wand energy, fire energy, courage, drive, passion, all that stuff. But it's also the card that says, like, this person um, could be overly confident in themselves. So these energies could be, especially if the spotlight is being shown on something that's like not at its fullest potential, maybe being a little immature. So it's like, be humble, because this could be like a make or break it moment, right? And you don't want to be that overly confident person that like can't get the job done, right? That doesn't um, like mature or plant a seed, right? Don't be reckless at this time either, and that's King of Wands as well. But the words I heard was overly confident. So like, just don't be overly confident um, at this time. We want to have compassion, understanding, be courageous, all that stuff. All right, I hope that was helpful. I want to point out that the earth energy came out for the feminine side. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So I would look to see on your own personal chart where those houses are for you, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. That could give you some hints on this, having to plant these seeds in this uphill manner. It's Jenna's birthday, everyone. Jenna, I love you so much. Happy birthday. She is our resident Leo. Did Jenna want to do a reading? Jenna, let me know if you wanted one. We'll pick you next. I love that. Thank you, Diana. Let me go check on TikTok just really quickly. TikTok doesn't show the chat in my restream service, the thing I use to multi-stream. So I have to go over to the TikTok screen. Let's see if I can get it to work properly. Dang, somebody you guys tapped the screen 4,000 times over. I love you guys. I love you so much. I'll get to see all the, all the analytics when I get done with the live. It'll pull it all up. I'll get to make highlights. TikTok pays you to go live, guys, in case you didn't know. It also pays you to make highlights from your live. It pays you to post them. It has like different like challenges. Like right now, I'm trying to do this one where if I can if I could live stream on there 3 times for the minimum of 30 minutes each, I'll get $200. $200. I can't make the chat thing work. I don't know if that's just today or if it's going to be an all the time thing. Facebook does it sometimes too. Like it doesn't work. I have to go over to Facebook to see like what the chat is. You know, it does work. YouTube. YouTube works every time. Hang time party hats. Oh, I love it. Look at everybody showing Jenna love. Sweet. Awesome. Vanessa says it's her daughter's birthday today. That's something I notice a lot. Like when I'm doing like your personal readings and I get your birthdays. It's like your birthdays will and there's how many days? There's 365 days, okay? And there's years. I mean, there's all kinds of varieties here. But I'm just saying, like, it's weird to me, like how your birthdays will like coincide with like someone in my own journey. You know what I mean? I just got a notification. One of you guys signed up for our Twin Flame Soul Circle. Guys, I'm so excited about it. I really, really am. It's definitely going to be a once a week. Let's talk about it. We get to say all the things. I feel like I have to really be like extra cautious with what I say, especially when it's just like open like this and we're on all these platforms. Because there's people and humans involved, right? But it's nicer when we do these like memberships because it's like I know I can be open in there, I can be honest. It's people that are invested in their own healing journey, right? All right, Jenna, here we go. Let's look at your masculine energy first. You have Ace of Cups. So there is, I want to say overflow of emotion, but it could also be like intuitive hits. The masculine could be picking up on something. It could be just picking up on your emotion or your feeling of something. It definitely has a very loving energy, I will say that. Page of Swords coming out for the feminine over here. Um, hmm, this could say that you're watching your counterpart energy. This could say that you want to communicate with your counterpart energy. This could say that there has been new communication with counterpart energy. I could say that you're sensing new communication. Um, again, could be watching. You could have recently noticed that he was like extra emotional about something. All right, let's get the bridging energy. So we do have the Ace of Pentacles coming out. So there is some type of new beginning, new offer, new start, clean slate. And this is a bridging energy. So it's like your higher self is learning right now how to forgive, um, how to, like, did I move the camera? I did. I pulled on again. I'm sorry, y'all. How to let go, how to move on, that type of energy. So the water signs are sticking out: Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and the air signs on your side. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I'm gonna leave it right there. Hope that was helpful. I hope it gave you some type of confirmation or something. All right, who else? Who else? Let me know. If you already said, you gotta say again. I'm sorry. I love y'all. I do want to remind everybody we will be back tomorrow night. In fact, I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do one more. So let me know in the comments right now. Jump up there, save me. I'm gonna pick it, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. Because tomorrow night we're gonna be back and we're doing love and astrology, and I will offer some free and paid mini readings as well tomorrow night. We're going to talk about the astrology transits, but I will say that divine timing. I will say that um, there's so many. Like, remember when we did July's? There are so many transits that it was like a 3-hour live to talk about all of them. And so what I'm going to do is, I feel like now, if you've been watching me for any amount of time, you're pretty comfortable, right, with the moon phases every 2.5 days, right? I'm going to start talking about just the hot dates. Like, I'm going to point out just the hot dates because I think that's going to be what's important for, especially for August. And we're going to go over all of them. There are several of them. And we'll do that tomorrow night. Again, I will read for the collective. Tonight is a monthly, so look out for this energy, like the divine masculine asking for help from divine feminine over the next, through the month of August. When it happens, come back and tell me, right? But tomorrow night we'll look at the current energy. All right, divine timing. Here we go. Lucky winner. See, divine timing was a winner of our cups, which is still, I don't want to talk about it. I love y'all. I love you for loving me unconditionally. I did get an offer to help get those out, which I'm going to take them up on that offer. All right, Eight of Pentacles comes out. Eight of Pentacles is focus, dedication. So the masculine energy is very dedicated to something. It's very focused on something right now. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Four of Swords is coming out. Divine Feminine is going through some type of healing phase. It feels like a slow down period, divine timing, like you've had to, I don't know, like pull back, slow down. This could be like a forced, I call these forced vacations. It's kind of like where you're doing too much and spirit's like, hey, you need to sit down and focus on you and heal. But Four of Swords is like also a redirection, like you're going one way and now you've started going a different route. And that in itself is some type of like blessing in disguise. All right, and then the bridging energy, divine timing, look at that. Ace of Wands is divine timing, literally, right? It's divinely fated energy. That's what the Ace of Wands represents. Like, I don't make it up. You can all go Google it. But it does say that this is about following purpose. This is about getting excited about the spiritual journey that you're on. All right, I'm going to leave that be. I feel like divine masculine is focused on the divine feminine energy, which is pretty interesting because your divine feminine energy was all focused on the healing, right? All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for coming in here and hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys so very, very much. Make sure to check out the website for our new Twin Flame Soul Circle, right? If you want to join my Soul Circle. I'm all caught up in the Etsy shop, guys, so if you want to check it out for private readings. And I still have availability for one-on-ones on Wednesday night, so make sure to reach out for me. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm always, always sending you abundant love on your journey. I'll see everyone tomorrow night. Thank you.